Welcome to the show. I'm excited, man. We got some good stuff we're going to touch bases on. Today, this is big reptile talk, and we got Mr. Balls2u himself in the building. Man, we was just backstage talking about this. Look at our shirts, man. Look at our shirts. Is that wild?
Representing.
That was, and it's not planned. That's crazy.
Not planned, man.
Great minds think alike. All right, now we're gonna jump right into this, man. First off, man, I want to say something that just hits hard, man. Your slogan, quality shines through.
Oh yeah, that's what it's all about. Just doing that quality thing, and just letting the animals talk for themselves,
Man, you know something, when you're in this business, your slogan, it speaks volumes. I'm gonna tell you something. You and Ozzy inspired me to get my own slogan for my podcast. Like, Ozzy has "Shut Up and Breathe."
Oh yeah.
Balls2u has "Quality Shines Through."
Yeah,
now,
man.
I'm gonna tell you what I wanted for my podcast. My podcast is "Iron Sharpens Iron."
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah. Now, you're one of the dopest breeders in the game, man. Can you tell me how much research do you think is needed? How many years, how much time of, research is needed before you jump into the breeding game?
Bro, what I'll say to anyone out there and anyone that's listening is research, research, research. Even to now, like, I don't stop researching. And one of my big things is learning the species that we work with. And it doesn't matter if you're breeding, geckos, corn snakes, ball pythons, retics. Learn the history. I want to show you guys something now. Okay, this is how serious I am on learning. Okay, you all see that?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a map of obviously Africa. And this red dot, you may not be able to see, or you may see, okay, is where ball pythons are actually found, okay? These red dots or these red circles are where they're actually exported from, okay? So when we talk about ball pythons and when we talk about learning the species that we work with, it's understanding where they're from and how vast they range. I mean, we go from Congo Basin all the way over to Segal, where they are. This is important to learn the species. This will help you with husbandry. This will help you with feeding, breeding. Learn where your species are from, and educate yourselves. That's important.
Okay, let me remove solo. Man, that right there tells me you know what you're doing. That speaks volumes. This man has a map of where ball pythons are from on his office wall.
Yeah.
That's hard, man. Now, I want you to give us some game, man. So talk to me like I'm a new breeder and I'm getting in. I got a small budget. I'm getting into the game. What are some of the best starter snakes that I should get if I'm just getting into the game?
Are we just talking ball pythons?
Ball pythons, yep.
Okay. The first thing I tell anyone who's getting into it is to buy with your eyes. Work with what you want to work with. Because the good thing with ball pythons is there's that much variety that it suits a lot of people. So if you're into pattern stuff, there's stuff for pattern. If you're in for color, there's stuff for color. So I always tell people, buy and work with the projects that sort of you enjoy or you like the look of, because that will give you longevity, because that will make you want to stay and produce more and breed together and get into it more. So always work with what you want to work with, not so much the trend. Concentrate on what you want to do. What gets you firing on all cylinders. That's important.
Right. I love that. I love that response. Now, do you think, if I'm just getting into the breeding game, do you think it's better to start with a male or a female powerhouse?
So a lot of people say to start with females, and I kind of agree because you've got to grow that female up, and it takes that little bit longer. Okay, so there's a lot of people do tend to buy more males early on, and they kind of forget the females. So I like to kind of work on a like a one male to two female ratio. Yeah, I will have some males that will breed like 4, 5, 6 females, but as a rule, I like to work to 1.2. That's what I like to do. I've got those backup males then for them projects. So I would say to anyone, get your females in, start there, and then move. Then you can decide where you want to go with your males.
Right. Now, I gotta ask you a hot seat question, man.
Oh boy,
The hot seat. Now,
I'll get my rum and coke for this one.
I love it. I love it. Now, everyone knows, you, Ozzy, Kabelka, y'all are the designer ball python breeders. And when I think of y'all, I think of designer. I think of designer stores. So I'm gonna say Justin Kabelka is Louis Vuitton. I'm gonna say Ozzy is Gucci. What store is Balls2u?
Oh boy, that's a real good question. That is, never expected that. I've got to say, that's a real good one. I'm like a Project Rock, an Under Armour. More of that sort of hardest working person in the room. Go and get your shit, get it sorted. I'm sort of that sort of person. I'm like I'm for everybody. I'm not
I
sort of
love that.
I'm not for everyone. So you could call me Project Rock, Under Armour.
Under Armour Project Rock. I love that, Big Gavin, man. I love that. Now,
As the
I've been thinking about getting into breeding myself. It's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be a lot of research. Tell me the time that is involved in planning a clutch.
So it can happen as early on as buying that hatchling. Yeah. So if we talk about when we're talking about starting, buying those hatchlings, seeing that project, making you see sort of 3 years, 4 years in advance, 5 years in advance. So you really want to be able to, when I do some pairings, like for example, I hit the Genex Clown Pied this year. That project took me 5 years in the making to make. And it's kind of like, you kind of, on average, if you say 5 years, yeah, 5 years from a hatchling to growing the babies up to producing the visual combo that you want. If you stick to 5 years, you may get it sooner. It may take longer. It took Ozzy 10 years to produce the Orange Dream, the Super Orange Dream, sorry, the Super Orange Dream. It took him 10 years to prove the Super out.
That's crazy. Some projects could just. We were just talking about this last night with one of my other friends, the Iron Animal show. It could take years to get the clutch that you want.
Oh yeah,
From raising them up to picking them out to just getting into that age so they can breathe and waiting for the eggs. It could take years.
yeah, and that's something that this hobby teaches you as well. It teaches you patience and persistence. Okay, yeah. So you've got to be patient and you've got to persist in your goal. Persist, keep pushing forward. Yeah, that's right. What's involved. You've got to be able to stay patient and persistent.
Right. Now I'm not gonna lie. I'm curious, man. A lot of businesses, when they first open up, they save that first dollar and they put it on the wall. And I say that to you, Big Gavin, man. I'm curious, man. Do you remember, your first clutch?
Yeah, so I've actually got my first female ball python still from 2003. I've lost you. No.
Second, I'm coming back. Can you hear
You're
me
back.
now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can.
I apologize. I just got a call. Give me that answer. Do you still remember your first clutch?
Yeah, so I've still got my first female from 2003. Yeah, so she won't go anywhere. Yeah, so so in 2008 I had my first clutch. So that was what I had. It was pure accident. But yeah, so I've still got her. She won't go anywhere. If I had to get rid of everything, she would be the one that would stay.
I know that's right. That's loyalty, man. Staying loyal to that first. That's loyalty. Man. I love that.
Oh yeah.
Now, a lot of people are, new breeders out there. Give us, what do you think a good new breeder first year clutch goal is?
So the first year clutch, I would say your first goal would be to follow the process and make it happen, because this is what people don't understand. We can buy these snakes, we can put them together, we can make them lock, or we can hope that they can lock. Okay. Then we've got to go through the process of dropping the eggs or them delivering the eggs. Then we've got to take the eggs and incubate them. Then we've got to hatch them. Then we've got to get them feeding. So the whole process, I say to my Patreon members, is that follow the process, trust the process, and just take each step as it comes. Yeah. And if I was, and if I look at things now as a new breeder, I would just be concentrating on getting that first year under my belt and just concentrate on making some pretty snakes, just make some pretty simple but attractive snakes. Banana's very good for that. Yeah. So you make some banana combos. They always sell very easily. So that will help you get used to selling your babies. And also what I say to people is you've got to kind of build on you as a person, as a breeder, as well as producing. So you could produce this $40,000 snake. Yeah. But if
Right.
no one knows who you are they going to buy it from you? No. Are they going to buy it from Justin? Yeah. Are they going to buy it from Ozzy? Hell yeah. You see?
That's
so
true.
You've got to build on you. So from year one, you need to build on you. You need to build on you as a breeder and concentrate on just going through those stages. And like I said, the first year, just aim at producing some pretty snakes. If you start in your first year producing these $20,000 animals, it's going to be difficult to sell them. And what will happen is you won't sell them for that price tag. So you'll bring the price down so you can sell them. And then all of a sudden, you get these people who get sold these animals and said, oh, if you breed these together, you'll produce thousands of dollars. Yeah. And when they don't produce thousands of dollars, they become disheartened and they go, this is BS. I'm gone.
Right.
Yeah. So I always say to people, just start with the process, learn the simple basics, try not to overwhelm yourself with all the genes. So let's say you get a pastel banana and you breed it to something as simple as a clown. Okay. What you're going to do, you're going to produce bananas, pastels, pastel bananas, and normals, all 100% het clown. You're going to naturally want to keep one or two of those animals back, which is good. So you're going to keep those back, but these animals now are going to be het clown. So in your second season or your third season, you'll have these animals which are het clown, which you can breed together, which you will produce your own banana pastel clowns. Okay. So what you can then do is in the first year, you've produced this clutch, which are beautiful and easy to sell animals. And you've also produced yourself something powerful to hold back. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, What I see a lot of breeders making the mistake getting into the hobby, they'll buy this 4-gene animal, female, and they'll buy this 4-gene male, and they'll breed them together, and they'll have this combination that is so difficult to try and, oh, that's, that snake is this combo and that snake is that combo. It's so difficult to ID that I get hit up a lot of the times with questions, and I want to help them, but I don't even have the answers, and that's why if you look at a lot of Aussie's morph market, Justin's morph market, they won't 100% guarantee the genetics, because physically you can't guarantee them. You can only assume that's what I think is in this combo. So first time breeders, take it easy, breed simple genetics, learn the genetics, and then move forward.
Right. Y'all hear this, man? Mr. Gavin is dropping gems, man. Gems. Now, currently right now in this day and age, in this market right now, what do you think the current must-have morphs are?
So there's a few genes that I think are must-have, and these can be intermediate genes, if you like, yeah? And when I say intermediate, you can make them as powerful or as simple as you want. So some of those genes would be stuff like hurricane, acid, orange dream is obviously a must-have gene, and we've got to say orange dream because we're loved by Aussie, So spot nose, leopard, those genes there for me, and if we're talking recessive, we can add some recessives in there. Obviously, clown and pied are one of the top recessive genes, but one of my favorite genes is ultramal. Ultramal is banging, and hypo or orange ghost is also a fantastic gene to work with. So again, we've got some simple genes there, simple recessives that people can get into very easily. You can make them as expensive, or you can keep them as basic as you want.
I love that, man. Now, I'd love to have me an ultra male. Now, speaking of ball pythons, man, I'm gonna show you a ball python. Miguel from Always Evolving Python sent me a
free that freebie.
Yes.
Send you that freebie.
So you sent it already. You've seen it. It's a spot nose, yellow belly, 100% head clown ball python. Now I want you to give me some game. It's a male. What is a good, partner that I should pair that with?
Okay, simple. So it's het clown, yes?
Yes.
Okay. So I would go something really crazy. So we've got two options. We could go down the route of getting a female leopard clown. Very easy, very simple. We could go down the realms of making Batmans, okay, which look awesome, okay. We could also go down the realms of adding something different, like a chocolate clown, and you can make yellow belly dark knights. Now, chocolate and spot nose are allelic. So if you hit the spot nose chocolate clown, when you breed that later on to an animal, you will only produce spot nose and chocolate. You won't produce no normals. So that's a powerful animal, okay? So it's something very simple. Then we could go down the yellow belly route, okay? So you could pick yourself up something like an asphalt het clown female. And the reason why I say asphalt het clown is because it's hard to find an asphalt clown female and expensive. So I'm trying to keep things within a reasonable budget and that you can find. Yeah.
Okay.
So then you could make some spot nose spot nose freeway clowns, which would just be mind bending. Or we could just throw it out and you could just go and get a super orange dream, Enchi yellow belly fire clown from Aussie Boys, let him make sure he donates that to you. Yeah.
I got to talk him into that.
Talk him into a breeder loan. Talk him into a breeder loan. But yeah, we can be as simple. We can add something simple, like I said, a chocolate clown to that male, which would make some amazing, powerful, but simple animals. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna check it. Hey, look. Now that you said that, and I'm gonna have that forever. I'm gonna pick something that you just said, and I might try and do something with it.
Trust
Now,
me, bro.
I got a hot seat question, and this is for me personally. I'm gonna answer it first, and then I'm gonna let you answer it. The hot seat question is: have you ever met somebody in a hobby and fangirl? I'm not gonna lie. I know I have. When asked my wife, she said when Gavin said he'll do it again for me, I'm fangirl. Yes. Yeah, when I met Ozzy, Gavin, Kabelka, Barcheck, I fangirl. Have you ever met somebody in a hobby that made you fangirl a little bit?
Yeah. So I'll tell you a quick story. So I was at the Canadian Reptile show 2 years ago, and I was due to go up on and guest talk on stage. Grant, the organizer of the show, sort of through KB Reptiles, Kerry and Barros, sort of hooked me up, and I was due to go on stage. Yeah, and I was standing at the back, and we were kind of all standing, and there was this guy in front of me, and I didn't quite know who he was. And then, like from behind, and then he turned around, and it was a guy called Sean Efflick. And Sean Efflick was part of the Python Hunters, okay, which was Michael Cole, Sean Efflick, and Greg Graziani. Now, I used to watch these, obviously, on the Discovery Channel. You can find their series on YouTube. And this guy turned around, and he looked at me and went, "Hey, it's Gavin." And I went, Sean, how you doing? And I really, I fanboyed over that. Do you know what I mean? That was for Sean to acknowledge me as Gavin, just blew my mind. And yeah, that was one moment that I can say that I honestly, obviously I've been talking to Marcus Jane, I've been talking to Justin, I've been talking to Ozzy. Don't get me wrong, I respect those guys. But when Sean, it's a bit like, for me, it's a bit like Steve Irwin turning around and saying, "Hey, how you doing, Gavin?" I was like, wow, it was like that sort of moment for me. So yeah, it was crazy,
Right. Now, man, you got to give us some game, man. Like, because a lot of people want to get into the breeding game. Is there some morphs that we should stay away from right now? And what I say that is, to me, ball pythons like stocks. They go up and down, up and down.
Yeah.
So, 1 year, this morph might be 2,500, and the next 2-3 years later, it might drop down to 700-800. What are some of those morphs that you have seen, decline, and maybe we should stay away from?
So I'm very old school. So I'm from the old school of when stuff like caramels were coming out and deserts were coming out. Okay. And there was, at the time, there's issues, obviously, with the deserts. The females don't reproduce. Not desert ghosts, deserts. So the females don't reproduce. The males reproduce, the females don't. But these snakes were amazing. Okay. Then we had the caramels. The caramels were kinking. So we were having a lot of people hatch caramels, and they were kinking and having real severe deformities. So what over the years, that's kind of installed in me that I have to be very much on the defensive. So when a new gene comes out, I want to see the male reproducing. I want to see the female sat on eggs. And I want to see the recessive, i.e. the visual or the super version. Yeah. So like lately, there's a lot of controversy around the scaleless ball python or the super micro scale ball python. The females don't reproduce. So the theory is because they don't produce keratin, which is the scale, they can't produce shells for the eggs. Okay, so the argument is, it's been 2012, 2014, and we've still not seen a scaleless ball python on a clutch of eggs. So, and what's bizarre is a lot of people who were sort of at the front, who were at the forefront of that project, they all said, we will show you everything. We will show you everything. Okay? The next minute, they stop showing everything and they just kind of go and do other projects. So that for me rings alarm bells. So the micro scale and the scaleless head make fantastic looking animals. The super version, which is the scaleless ball python, I believe, I might be wrong, but I believe the female will not reproduce. That's my thoughts. So until I see a scaleless female on eggs, I'm very skeptical of that project.
Right. Man, y'all better pay attention, man. We getting game, dude. Now, you got to give us some more game. And what's some of your best tips on reducing slugs?
Lower temperatures. Simple.
Lower temperatures.
Yeah, over the years, obviously, so there's two things that causes slugs. Temperatures too high or the male shooting blanks. Okay? So first thing we can do is keep our temperatures at a reasonable temperature. So not allowing it to get too high. Okay? In the wild, the female would mate with a male and she would find somewhere cool to stay cool to keep that sperm viable until she ovulates. Okay? That's why we have the gradient from the hot spot to a cool spot. And when you look at your females, they're all in the cool end as opposed to the warm end when they're, you know, building their follicles and in breeding season. So when we look at things like that, temperatures are key. Temperatures are key. Okay. The second thing when we talk about males, and this is one thing, and I've said it for years and years, and you can look back over my videos, backup males are key. Because you don't want your female to go through all that effort for it to drop slugs. So if your temperatures are on point, that's cool. But what we want to do is make sure that that male isn't shooting blanks. And sometimes you can't guarantee that he's not shooting blanks, you know? It can just happen, you know? I had a clutch. So this year, I only had 1.1, one male, one female of double het ultra male clowns. Just one male, one female. I bred them together. The female dropped 7 slugs. Now, I know it wasn't my temperatures because my temperatures are spot on because all my females have done perfect. So the only other option is the male. Because I didn't have a backup male because I only had 1.1 in that project, I had no backup males. So I had to just run with that. But this season, I've got a backup male because I know that female is perfect. I know my temperatures are perfect. So this year I've made sure I've got on board a very powerful double het male as a backup. And I'll be using him because I need to make sure, and again, those are the things, temperatures and backup males.
Right. I love that. Temperatures and backup males. That's excellent game. Now, I'm going to show you something. You got to tell me what you think about this. Now, I've been wanting to get into the breeding game myself, and I know I'm far from ready. I'm still doing research, but a lot of people want to see me win, and I'm going to give a shout out to old John from Sim Container. I don't know if you've heard of Sim Container.
Yeah. I'm following Sim Containers.
He sent me a container for free. That's a really good problem. I'm going to show it on my live. He sent me a container for free. And I'm like, man, this is an awesome thing. Now, of course, I need the incubator, but look at the quality of that.
Yeah. So the Sim containers are very good. So the way they're designed is that you don't need any substrate. You just need water in the bottom, yeah? And you just
Right.
place your eggs on top and place them in. The sim containers are very, very good.
Shout out to John from Sim Container because he sent me this. I just got it a couple of days ago. I'm like, man, I gotta shout him out because this is quality. You know,
Yeah,
I said I gotta show this on live when I got, you know, Mr. Quality himself, you know, in the building. So anyway, shout out to John from Sim Container. Thank you for that. Now let's keep going, man. So you know, a lot of people are scared to get into the ball python game, and I'm gonna tell you why. To me, you know, on YouTube, it's so much information out there, and it kind of scares people. Like for me, when I was about to get my first snake, it, you know, those YouTube videos like, you know, corn snakes are good, ball pythons are good, but go with the corn snake because ball pythons can go off food for so long. And you know, I haven't experienced that yet, thank God. But why do you think, you know, so many people do get those ball python hunger strikes? And what are some tips to end those ball python hunger strikes?
So first things first, I feed ASFs, African soft fur rats. Okay, in Africa, like we saw on the map, one of their food sources is African soft fur rats. What we used to try and feed them were Norwegian rats, and that's a bit like, you know. So ball pythons have got this sort of tendency to be finicky feeders or picky feeders because we're learning as we go. Okay, so back in the day we used to keep them in glass tanks, then it was in vivariums, then we decided that we learned that actually we need to put them in a small area. So a lot of the times, temperature, you need to obviously get the temperatures right. We need to get the husbandry right regarding their living conditions. And this is the thing. So this is the thing, Derek. We need to give them what they want, not what we feel they need. Okay, so that's important. The females at a year of age, around about 1,000 grams, will go off food. That's pretty standard. Okay, and the reason for that, let me just let my dog in. One moment.
Hey, take your time. Take your time. No rush, man.
Come on, News.
Amazing show today, man. We got Mr. Gavin himself. Okay.
So at a year of age, around about 1,000 grams, a female will go off food. And they go off food for this reason. They're going through a hormonal change. Okay? So they're going, as hatchlings, they need to eat as much as possible, as quick as possible, to get as big as possible. Otherwise, they're going to get eaten. Okay? So in the wild, baby ball pythons will eat stuff like obviously different rodents, small rodents when they can get them. They've been known to eat certain lizards. They've been known to eat certain insects. They've been known to eat certain birds. Okay, so their thing is to get as big as possible, as quick as possible. Roughly about a year of age, the females will tend to go off food and stop feeding because they're going through this hormonal change. Now, in the industry, in the hobby, we have this thing where we talk about 2 years or 3 winters and around about 1,500 grams for a female. Okay, that's when we tend to breed them. Males can breed a little bit earlier, around about 1,000 grams, around about a year of age. However, if I tell you that actually in the wild, a female doesn't walk around with a calendar saying, oh, no, I can't breed yet, it's too early. She doesn't walk around with a set of scales saying, whoa, hang on, big boy, I can't breed yet, I'm not heavy enough. They will breed when they feel they are ready. And what you'll have with a species is you will have pretty much the males and females will come online at exactly the same time. Okay, the sexual maturity will come into effect straight away. So when we look at feeding issues, it's not that simple. And this is why I say do your research, because we can talk about temperatures, we can talk about humidity, we can talk about enclosures, we can talk about the breeding season. Okay, we can talk about their prey, what you're feeding them, how you're feeding them. Are you offering them frozen thawed, or you're offering them live? So there's a lot of things where a corn snake will eat 24/7. It will eat anything you put in front of it, pretty much. And it doesn't matter if it's breeding season or not. So when we had these snakes in captivity that were fantastic feeders, the minute we had a ball python came in, and we had to think of it, and we looked at it as a junk snake. It was kind of in the pet trade as a junk snake because, real problem feeders, you won't get them to breed. No. They're just specialized. You've just got to specialize in them. It's a bit like when we talk about like retics, berms, boas. Yeah, those are like apex predators in snakes world because they will eat big prey items. It's a bit like a saltwater crocodile will take like a gazelle from the side of the bank. Yeah, an American alligator won't do that. The dwarf caimans won't eat a massive meal. They'll eat small meals. And it's exactly the same with the ball pythons. The other thing we mess up on is the prey size. Sometimes we're trying to give it something that's too big. And it looks at it and it goes, do you know what? I'm not eating that. I'm not having that. So ultimately, we have to look at a number of things, and we have to kind of specialize in this particular species and understand it. So there's a lot involved, which I can understand people's worried about. But if they do their research where they are in Africa, how they live in Africa, the type of food they eat in Africa, the temperatures in Africa, if we can replicate that in our reptile rooms, then we're laughing.
Right. So basically what you're saying is just if you do get that ball python, do your research, and you really should be okay on hunger strikes. Shouldn't be as bad.
Yeah, you've got to think as well with ball pythons, the rack systems. I know a lot of people hate rack systems, and I get it. Yeah, I've got other species myself. I like to see them on display. I like to see them climbing the trees and stuff. But these animals are nocturnal. They're very shy creatures, okay? We need to remember that, we need to remember that.
Right. Before we keep going, I apologize. Hey, Gary, man, no big deal, boss. It was an accident, Gary. Okay, cool. It's dropped. It's an accident, Gary. Nobody meant to time you out the accident, bro. Back to the interview, man. You killing this, man. I want to talk to you about egg cutting. We all see Jay Brewer, cut the egg and rip the snake out, and we know you like to do the same thing. Cut the egg, rip the snake out. I'm totally kidding. But I was kidding. You don't do that. But just give me your take on egg cutting. I was just kidding, by the way.
So here's the thing. So I've bred these animals. I've put these animals through this stress of breeding. Okay. I want to make sure that these babies have a fighting chance of coming out. Now, a lot of people will say, I let them pip and come out naturally. And whatever babies don't make it out, it's natural selection. Okay? For me, it's not about that. For me, it's about making sure that all those babies have a fighting chance. Okay? So I'm very responsible with how I cut eggs. I teach people responsibility. Okay? And the difference is what Jay does to what we do with ball pythons is we've got to understand the species. So when I see Jay cutting the eggs open, my thing is he uses a razor blade, like Brian Barchek. That scares the shit out of me. But what you've got to understand is they've been doing it for years. They know exactly what they're doing, That's cool. But when Jay pulls them out, it's because he's doing one thing. And what he's doing, as he's pulling it out, the eggs have a second membrane, okay? He's making sure that baby can come out. He breaks that membrane, the second membrane, and he enables the baby to take its first breath of air because, not many people know, but retics can suffer with drowning in eggs. more so than most species. Okay, so it's important that they get the days right. So when they incubate them and when they've got to cut the eggs, it's imperative that they cut the eggs on time. Ball pythons, not so much, and we don't pull them out, obviously. No one's ever seen me doing that. But it's important why we do things, and this is where education comes in, Derek. If we can educate people, okay, people understand us. Like I had a guy, so here's the thing. This is how uneducated the public can be. So I posted a little Instagram story of me just filming some hatchlings. Okay, there was 6 of them. This guy's commented going, that's why we have all these problems in Florida and all this invasive species is because people like you go to prison, then your animals get released into the wild, and this is why we have all this problem. So really? Are you really that uneducated? First of all, I'm not in Florida. Second of all, is these don't survive like that. And the education that some people have is just mind-bending. It's almost like they've seen a video on YouTube and they believe it, you know? Oh, that's got to be right. That's why we've got invasive species in Florida, is because people like Gavin at Balls2u releases them when he gets arrested. You're like, really, bro? So educating people is key. You know, educating people is key.
Right. The problems that people have in Florida, and I'm gonna talk about it. I hate to say it, but you know, a lot of people in Florida, and I'm all for people. You have your rights. It's your right. Buy what you want. But the reason people is watching Florida, because people down in Florida is buying shit they don't need. Like, I'll be watching shit. People buying crocodiles and alligators. You live in a house? Do you really need that? You got a big ass alligator.
You know what? I'm a massive believer in sort of having, you know, we've got our rights, and I support US ARC, even though I'm not in the United States. I still support US ARC because whatever happens in your end of the pond can come over to my end of the pond. So if I can support you guys and help you guys with the fight, I'm with you. I'm down. Okay. The one thing we need to realize is that we need to get some facts. So when you see some YouTubers, which Nerd did a video on these YouTubers pulling the Burmese python out of the drain, they put the snake in the drain, you know, that they didn't just find that and pull it out. And this is where people like python hunters, Sean Efflick, Michael Cole, yeah, Greg Graziani, they did 2 seasons of python hunters, and the producers came to them and said, because they were struggling to find pythons, they were struggling to find them towards the end of season 1 and season 2. They were struggling to find them, and they said, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to get some pythons and we're going to release them, and you're going to catch them and make it look dead dramatic and dangerous, because that's what sells TV. And they said no. Sean said, no way. I'm not dramatizing this. I'm not being a part of this. And that's why pretty much it kind of died off. So we've got to be responsible. And as breeders, as people on YouTube, we need to educate people and make people aware that people like that on YouTube who are doing full shit are creating the problems. And in actual fact, YouTube are now being, I've noticed that YouTube and Danny from Nerd, it is Danny, isn't it? Yeah, I'm sure it is. Anyway, he's noticing some videos are going missing, and I'm noticing some videos are going missing. It's because YouTube should be held responsible for the content that's being put out, as well as the people who are making the content, okay? Because if people make the content and YouTube go, that's okay, you can post that, good on you. They need to be held responsible as much as the people who are posting the videos. So YouTube are coming down on people. And what we need to do as a Reptile Nation is report channels which are abusing animals, whether it be
Right.
reptiles, dogs, cats, whatever it may be. We need to be reporting those channels and putting a stop to it, because once
Right.
they come after our exotic animals, they're coming after the dogs, the cats, the rabbits, you name it, they'll come after it.
Right, right, right. I agree. Now, with you being so high caliber, man, I asked you this backstage. I feel like, and don't get me wrong, I love Ozzy, I love Cabelco, love you. Y'all are top tier breeders, and a lot of us in the industry, that are just that are just you know collectors. We're not necessarily breeders. A lot of us in the hobby, we're scared to approach the bigger breeders because we might not necessarily have the budget. Because when I look at you, when I look at Ozzy, when I look at Kabelka, y'all are the designer ball python breeders. Like I said, y'all are the Gucci, the Louis Vuittons, the Pradas. Y'all are the designer ball python breeders. So I'm scared to come to you, Gavin, and be like, hey, I want a snake, because I don't know if I can afford it, and I'm gonna be disappointed. So I guess the question is, and no offense, I love that y'all make your money. I don't have no problem with that. What I'm saying is, um, are you kind of on that level? Do you have stuff for not necessarily the people that are breeding, but that are more affordable for just
Yeah.
the normal collectors?
Yeah, so obviously with anything that we produce, we can produce lower end animals. And when I mean lower end, I mean single gene stuff. Yeah. What you've got to realize is, a lot of breeders sell their lower end stuff to pet shops. Okay. So you may not see those lower end on their morph market, but they do produce them. They just wholesale them out. Yeah. Me, I get asked for them all the time. So for me, it makes sense to sell the single gene stuff as well as the top end stuff or the mediocre stuff. So I cater for everyone, because I want everyone to have what they want, and for me, if I could send, I sell out. So here's the thing, I get asked virtually every day, can I send snakes to the USA? Can I send snakes to Canada? The problem is I sell out so fast over here that I don't even get a chance to send them there. Sometimes, Derek, I don't even get a chance to take them to the UK reptile shows because I sell out so fast. So for me, I think it's important, because when new people in the hobby, whether they want to become breeders or not, eventually when they've got this snake, they'll say, this snake came from Gavin at Balls2u, and they can track the lineage, So for me, it's important that the single gene stuff goes to the right people instead of going to the pet shop, because it gives them a sense of, oh, this snake's famous. It was on one of Gav's videos, and they can show their friends, and the kids can see. Oh, look at our snake. It's on YouTube. It's good. I cater for all areas. I like that.
I love that. I love that answer. So, I wanted to get you on and kind of ask that, because, like I said, a lot of us are scared to approach the bigger breeders because, I want that Balls2u snake. I want that Aussie boy snake, but I don't have $5,000. So, kind of, don't believe that myth, you guys. They do have stuff for the little guys out there. Now, with you breeding, man, I gotta ask this, man. Do you have any males that need special help breeding? Where you gotta dim the lights, put a little slow music on.
Put a bit of Marvin Gaye on, yeah. Yeah, yeah, I like to play a little bit of Prince, you know what I mean, a bit of Marvin Gaye in the background for them. Yeah, no, some snakes do require that little bit of a push. Sometimes you'll get those females who will just beat the shit out of them, and it really knocks their confidence, Then you get some of the little guys, and here's the thing, it's crazy because you get some little males, and you think, I want to pair him to her, but she's a big girl. But dude, he's on her like a rash, you know. He's on that. He likes that big booty. You know, it's crazy. But yeah, I mean, little tricks like another male's shed can go in there. That helps a lot. You know, the thing is here, air pressure. So if it starts to rain here, obviously the air pressure will drop. So that's a good time to put a male and female together because they'll tend to lock a bit more easier. So yeah, sometimes you've got to give them a little bit of a helping hand, let's say. Like I said, and a compatibility. So here's the other thing, Derek. We have compatibility in certain species of snakes, like king snakes, anacondas. If the compatibility is not there, they will eat the other snake, or they won't breed. Okay, and this is how complicated this rubbish ball pythons are. We also have compatibility within the ball pythons. So sometimes you may put a male and a female together, but they won't lock because they're just not compatible. You put him in with another female, he will lock. You put another male in with that female that you originally put together, and she will lock. So compatibility is also there.
Right. Now, you don't have to ask this. You don't have to answer this, but I follow you on Instagram. You know, of course I follow you, big Gavin, you know. I've been seeing you know, this is the hot seat. If you don't want to answer, you can say, I plead the fifth.
Okay.
Now I follow you on the gram. Everybody go follow Big Gavin on the gram, Balls2u 2014. You know, I've been seeing these Spider-Man teaser trailers, and I'm wondering what you teasing, man. You gotta give us a sneak peek, or you can be like, nah, brother.
I plead the fifth, but I will tell you this. So this gene, I've got 5 animals that have come here into the UK. Okay, there's 3 males. There's 3 males and 2. 3 females, 2 females. 3 females, 2 males. Spit it out. One of those females that I have is a super. So we know the male and female reproduce because we've got a super. Okay.
Right.
It's a new gene that I'm really excited about. Ozzy has seen it. And Ozzy has said it's sick. Yeah.
Oh, I'm about to cheat.
So all I'll say to you guys is I'm really excited for the gene. Between me and my good friend Luke Mills over at Mills Pythons, we've got into this project together. We're really excited about it because we are the only people in Europe that have this gene, and we also have the rights to be the only people to sell and distribute it within Europe and the UK. But I'm really excited about what this gene does. And when you guys see the combos that have been produced by it, it's going to blow you away.
I heard that, man. Y'all better tune in. Y'all better go to his Instagram and check out that Spider-Man teaser. I said, oh, I got to get Gavin on. He's doing some shit over there. He's doing some shit over there.
Yeah.
Now,
so I'm excited.
I am too, man. Now with you selling a lot of snakes, man, I gotta ask you this, man. Hot seat question. Have you evidently, I say evidently, I'm kind of tired. Have you accidentally ever sent someone a more expensive snake?
I've sold snakes and this is going back to the earlier thing where I couldn't 100% identify what was going on. Yeah. So I've sold some snakes which were probably worth, I don't know, $700, let's say. Yeah. But I've sold them for $200.
Oh,
because
wow.
I can't guarantee what's in there. And it's a case of I'd rather undercharge than overcharge. Yeah. And
Right.
anyone that knows me is, and again, we can all make mistakes. We can all make mistakes. but it's the person. You're not only buying the combo, you're also buying the breeder and the customer service. Yeah. So if you buy it, like I brought stuff from Aussie and it had extra genes, and he's like, he hasn't asked me for any extra money, even though I feel I want to send him extra money, you know. But that's why I buy from Aussie. That's why people buy from me, because they know that if they get that little bit extra, I'm not going to say to them, I want some extra money. If something's wrong, then I'll put it right. And that's how we have to be. No drama.
Right.
My reputation is worth more than not sorting an issue out. So I have sold animals which are cheaper than what they should have been, but I'm happy that those customers have got those animals because I know they'll do fantastic things.
Right. Well, I don't want to keep you too much longer, man. But now that we got you, man, I got a few more questions. I'll let you go because I know it's getting late. Now, I got to ask this, man, because for me, there has been morphs that disappoint me, and I'm gonna tell you why I say that. So my favorite morph is the Exantic morph, and now this is a two-part question. So for me, my favorite morph is the Exantic morph, but because I love that white and that black. But somebody kind of disappointed me because they said that the Xantic morphs don't stay white and black. They said that when they get older, they brown out. So the first part of the question is that true? Do Xantic morphs brown out when they get older? And the end part of the question is, have you ever hit a morph and it kind of disappointed you or wasn't what you thought it was going to be?
Okay, so first part of the question is, there are good examples and bad examples of every Exantic line. There's about 4 different lines. Okay, the one that I see stays consistent is MJ, so Marcus Jane line. That line of Exantic tends to stay consistent. Do they brown out? Well, to be honest with you, like I said, some will brown. They will all brown out, but to a certain level. Okay, so the only way to really stop that would be to buy quality Exantics, and that would help reduce that, but also to add another gene which will keep them bright and light as they get older. But being brutally honest, most of our combos, when I say most, a lot of the clowns brown out. Yeah, so it's not just Exantics. If you look at a lavender as a hatchling, it looks amazing. You're like, wow. You look at that as an adult, it looks a bit like a banana. As an adult banana, it kind of just fades away. So the whole idea is that we try and make beautiful babies that stay crazy looking as adults. Yeah. And that for me is what I'm working to, making beautiful babies, but also stay amazing as adults. That's key.
Right.
So it's not just Exantics, pastels brown out, Mojaves can lose their color. There's all sorts of morphs out there and combos which can lose their color as they get older. But then there is a lot of other morphs which get better with age. So it's a case of finding the balance,
Man, I'm pissed because I thought the Xanax stayed white and black. I'm pissed. Now I don't even want it. Now I don't even want that trash. I thought it stayed white and black forever. I'm pissed.
Yeah, well, we could add Desert Ghost in there, which would keep it crisp. So I'm trying to produce the Desert Ghost Exantic. Aussies produce the Desert Ghost Exantic combos. It does help keep that sort of silver, that white, that black as they get older.
Right. Now,
the other part of the question. What was the other part of the question? What was the other one?
Has there ever, so we just established that the Xantic morph disappointed me. Has there ever been a morph that you've hit that it kind of disappointed you, that it wasn't what you thought it was going to be?
Not really. Not really. There was projects that I got to a stage and I thought, I don't know what else to do now. You know, I've seen adults, like I said, like the dreamsicle. So the lavender pied. So the lavender pied as a hatchling looks amazing. As an adult, it's kind of disappointing. I'm not going to lie. It looks like a banana pied, you know. But that's that's my opinion. Not hating on the project. I just wished that that baby would stay that way as an adult. So for me, that project kind of disappointed. I'd rather make some different stuff with lavender than lavender pies. But that's my opinion, you know, and that's why there's so much variety for everyone out there.
Right. Now we got to ask this, man. This is Big Gavin on the podcast, Mr. Balls2u. When you're not breeding snakes, tell me you game, man. Do you play Xbox or PlayStation?
PC.
PC. You're a PC gamer. I love it.
Yeah, bro.
Now,
yeah, I'm a mouse and keyboard warrior.
I love it. Now, give us a sneak peek. Okay, so let's say COVID wasn't a factor, and you can go anywhere in the world. Not necessarily in the world. I want to know, if you came to the United States, what's your first visit? Where are you going?
So obviously, I've been places in America, but I want to go down to Florida. You know, I want to go Florida.
Okay.
I want to go down them areas south of that area. Texas. For some reason, I want to go Texas. I've got some good friends in Texas. Earl, Lone Star Reptiles. He's a good guy. You ought to get Earl on. Earl's a good guy. Earl at Lone Star. You ought to get him on.
Right. Now, man, so I got a couple, maybe two more questions, man, and then I'll let you go. So when am I going to see that Balls2u shirt on Bar Check?
On Bar Check?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I'm going to tell you like this. I used to love watching Brian, and I used to love watching Snake Bites TV. And then he kind of dropped off a little bit. And as a breeder of ball pythons, he was the guy that we kind of, we would turn to and look to, as a commercial type person. He was doing snake bites. It was fantastic. And then he kind of dropped off. And I kind of lost that bit of respect for him, because he was like an idol and he just kind of dropped off, Yeah. And it's only recently that I've kind of gained the respect back for Brian. I like Brian as a person. He does his thing. And he's doing his thing, and he's catering to his audience, which is good. He's doing his thing. And that's what I've had to realize as you grow up. You realize he's doing his thing. So I'd love to send Brian a T-shirt. Whether he'd wear it or not, I don't know. I need to link up with him, because there's a few things I want to ask him through a mutual friend. But yeah, hopefully we can get him a T-shirt on. I know I need to send you a T-shirt. That's the first thing I do.
That's love, brother.
I got to get you.
I'm gonna DM you the address, brother. Don't play, because I'm gonna DM you the address.
Mate, make sure you DM me your details, and I'll get that merch out, bro.
That's love, man. Real quick, man. First, Reese Pythons, man. I'm in Texas now because the hurricane messed up New Orleans last night. Hey, you my brother, Reese's. Stay safe out here, man.
Yeah,
I love
Reese's
you, brother.
a good
Stay
guy.
safe.
Reese's a good guy. He shows a lot of respect and love for the Balls2u brand. Everyone, and I just want to say this to everyone that's on tonight, who's watching this, wherever you are in the world. Thanks for joining Derek's live. Thanks for coming on and supporting us. I appreciate you. I know Derek does. Massive shout out to everyone in the chat as well. Thanks for watching, guys. I just want to say that.
This is Big Reptile Talk. Mind blown episode. We got some game from one of the biggest in the hobby, on down from the best time to start breeding, tips to reduce slugs. I got him on here to let you know, don't be scared to approach. Thank you, Chris. Don't be scared
100%.
to approach the bigger breeders because they do have stuff for the small time collectors. Don't be scared to approach them. You know, that was one of my biggest concerns. You know, now that I feel like I can approach Gavin and hire, hey, I need
100%.
something. I ain't got a lot, but give me, this is my budget. You know, they gonna you tell them your budget, they got something for you, man. So definitely approach them. Reese's Pythons, man. Like I said again, stay safe, man. Man, we get ready to play out the outro because we gotta let him go. He's been on for an amazing hour. Before I go, shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out Iron Dog, My Animal House, Kurt Wood, Reese's Pythons, Doug's Monstars, Kara Shea, Jordan, These Balls, Casey Mystic Morris, Snake Man, Reptile Feedings. Much love to Reptile Feedings. Much love to Gary, Moon Over Miami. All great people. If I forgot anybody, I apologize. This is Big Reptile Talk. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Michael. I appreciate it, man. And we out of here. Until next time, we'll
Hang on,
catch you
hang
later.
on,
We're gonna go.
hang on.
Oh, my bad.
Before we go, I want to say a massive thank you to Derek. Derek, you're killing it, brother. Thanks for bringing all the big reptile talks. And I know I'm going to speak for me and everyone else. You're an absolute awesome person. And it's really, and I mean this, I'm not blowing smoke up your ass, but I think everyone out there loves and respects you, brother. So keep doing what you're doing. I mean,
All right, man.
I'll come on anytime, bro. Anytime.
I'm humbled by that, man, because you're a legend in the game, man. So I'm gonna let you go because I know it's 9 o'clock out there. Shout out to my lady too. Thank you for supporting my hobby. I love you. You're freaking amazing. Mr. Gavin, I'm gonna let you go, man. Thank you so much, brother.
Thanks, brother. You
Have a
take
good
care.
day, man. All right, man. This is Big Reptile Talk. My mind is blown. Another amazing episode with Gavin from Balls2u. Tune in Thursday. I'm bringing Antoine from High Desert Pythons. Going to be another amazing episode. Again, y'all make sure y'all go to Balls2u Instagram. Show him some love. He's an amazing guy in the hobby. And now that I know he got some stuff that I can afford, I might be hitting Gavin up for a snake. Shout out to our top supporters, man. Venom Proof Cages and Ozzy Boyd. We out of here, man. I'm going to take myself.